that make this, industry happen, right? Wanted to confuse you though a little bit with this first slide. Essentially, I've got the Herzl Engine Technologies emblem on the top there, as well as all of the businesses or product lines that we support underneath. I actually have a QAA shirt on right now, but we're all one and the same now, so I'll explain. So, little history on Quality Aircraft Accessories for those that don't know us. Essentially, it was started by a man named Justin Hicks in 1999. He was a flight enthusiast as well. He was a mechanic, A&P, and just his love for the industry drove him to start a business. They started out pretty small and have grown over the years. And then in 2020, Herzl Engine Technologies actually procured, or Tailwind Technologies actually procured and acquired Quality Aircraft Accessories. So Quality Aircraft Accessories now fits under the Herzl brand, or family of brands for that matter. And you can see all the brands that we support throughout the different businesses. Herzl Engine Technologies, Aeroforce for turbochargers, Plane Power, Janitrol Aero, Skytech, Fuelcraft, as well as QA, where we are also distribution for several other firewall forward products, right? We also we are a repair station. We have our Part 145 Class 1 and 2 repair station capabilities, as well as we are, as I will get to, full life cycle support for Herzl Engine Technology brands. That's really, I called this slide the acquisition thesis. That was the main emphasis of the acquisition for us. That was the gain for us, right? Was that we had the direct relationships with the field. We had several distribution channels previously through Herzl. Now we've kind of streamlined that to where that should all come through Quality Aircraft Accessories. We also are the factory direct source and support for Herzl Engine Technologies, both technical and from an application standpoint. And starting there, so we've had some changes, obviously. You've probably never seen me before up here speaking. I am the general manager. A little bit about myself. So I actually come from Herzl Engine Technologies. I worked there for 8 years. Most recently, I was the director of quality for about a 4-year stint. Prior to that, I was the director of operations for another 4 years. And at Herzl, because we are such a large family, we share resources amongst the group, right? So I also did some project management work, which I figure would be pique your interest, since I believe a lot of you have Skytech and Plane Power products on your planes. I actually oversaw the acquisitions that were done by Herzl to bring in both Plane Tech as well as the Continental Starter Adapter. And then most recently, I spent some time in Wisconsin and Minnesota working with AWI, AMI, transitioning in an acquired business called Dolly Aviation, which you guys might be familiar with. Prior to that, I have various automotive industry background, very different than the GA marketplace. Very glad and proud to be a part of this this industry. By comparison, automotive is a little wise. This industry, by comparison, automotive is a little wild, right? Anybody that's been in it, it's an interesting industry to be in. GA is a little bit more of a family-centric, I would say, close-knit group that we communicate pretty well within the industry, and I can appreciate that. Prior to taking over, actually at Quality Aircraft Accessories, Brent Benton was our president for, I believe, a 9-year stint. Many of you may have worked with him in the past. He's actually the guy that signed me up for coming to speak, and he's a much better public speaker than I am, so bear with me here. He actually currently has taken over as the Vice President of Market and Business Development for Herzl Engine Technologies, which sounds like a nice fancy title, but essentially he is representing us for both Herzl Engine Technologies as well as QAA from a marketing and sales standpoint. We're also working him in to help support Herzl Propeller as well as AWI and AMI. So he's got his hands full. And I said a time frame, he was actually here for 12 years. I even wrote that down and then misspoke. He's actually responsible for the expansion of QAA.com. So as of October 1st, which is very rapidly approaching, we've made some significant changes to QAA.com. I'll speak to those a little bit later. So we've made some changes, as I spoke to. This is our leadership team here. One of the team members that plays a critical role for us is actually here joining me. He's our Q&A guy because he is our customer service manager. He's very familiar with the technical side of the products that we work with, as well as he may have worked with some of you guys in the past. Keith Bagley up top there, he is the HET president. I still actually will report to him from the quality standpoint. And then you can see the other team members here that you may have some involvement with in the future. So with the change of guard, so to speak, we're also changing the way that we produce product, right? We're also changing the way that we manufacture internally, perform our overhauls, perform our customer property overhauls from start to finish. And the intent is really to drive a better service point for you guys, to be a quicker resource for you. Lead times, everybody's kind of spoke to supply chain. That's all you ever hear everywhere you go. It's really a problem for everybody right now. But essentially, there are ways around that. And manufacturing practices, or solid manufacturing practices moving forward, can help support us to have better product on the shelf ready for you guys to purchase. So to do so, we are expanding our facility. This is the future look of QAA. If you've driven by it recently on Apache Street, it looks far different than it does in this picture. What you have today is two separate buildings, very inefficient processes, very wasteful processes, in that we've got people carting parts from one building to the other, right? So what's the job of a manufacturing facility, or a repair station for that matter? To cut out the waste. So that's what we're trying to do, right? So that we can get things to you guys quicker. Exciting times though. So what I can tell you, this is actually what the expansion will be. So we're doubling our footprint. We're going from 12,000 plus square feet to 24,000 plus square feet with the expansion. And what we'll be doing is transforming our processes, as well as I kind of spoke to a little bit. So you can see we've got an assembly line here that we'll be adding in. We're separating core processing from the existing processes that occur today. So today it's a single part flow, and you have product experts. What happens though, especially in this marketplace, is product experts are hard to find. They're hard to keep. They're hard to maintain. They're hard to train. What do you really want to do? You want to use the KISS principle in every aspect of your business, right? Keep it simple, right? So we want to focus more on processes that are repeatable, process instructions that are clear, and so that I have the ability to have bench depth within the facility, which leads to reduced downtimes, right? So just to kind of go through real quick what we have here. So obviously this is the office area in the existing location. What you see is the big building here that is 24 feet in height. And you've got an assembly line, as I spoke to. We've got a central test location. We've got an ops office. All of our warehousing will be under the same roof and quickly accessible. We've got our core stock, core processing I spoke to, and then this is additional warehouse storage. We will also have a warranty cage here, actually, for troubleshooting of our warranty products, with test centers that will be over there as well, so that we don't have to break into the line to perform those tests. But the fundamental change that we're making here is, as I said before, we're splitting assembly from core processing. So essentially a product will come in, customer property, or just an overhaul for that matter, and we take those products, we break them down to the components that are serviceable. We then service them, put them back in stock, rather than one of my maintenance techs going over and picking these products from a inventory for replacement needs. All of that will be kitted and brought in volume to the line, where at the line, then they will produce the product in volume on one side. On the other side, we will still handle customer properties as we do today, but the teardown activities and the processing will happen on the other end. So just separating the business a little bit to streamline things and, like I said, eliminate waste. So transformation objectives. What's the plan here? I spoke to that a little bit, but just to go into more detail, our essential key elements of this transformation for us are creating an optimized process flow for customer property and volume production. We want to increase throughput, which I've mentioned several times. We want to be able to process simultaneously, so customer properties as well as overhauls. Balance cycle time, so workstation to workstation, ensuring that they're balanced so that you don't have bottlenecks within your processes. As I mentioned also, transition from specific product line experts to process experts. It's really simple in that. We want to, like I said, utilize the KISS principle to its fullest. What that does for us is improve the continuity of supply to you guys, minimize training cycle time and optimize bench depth, lend focus and build expertise to our processes. Pretty straightforward. Comprehensively though, we want to plan to efficiently execute material flow, right? With that, we have to change our ERP system, which is a want moment, right? It's always a process. So today, the ERP system that we are utilizing does not really support volume processing for us, but essentially we will be using the same platform that all of the Herzl family utilizes in other locations. So that supports us from a resource standpoint to get up and running quicker, right? And, we're really trying to create synchrony amongst all of the different businesses within the Herzl family. What does all this mean? I'm a quality guy, right? That's my background. That's where I come from. I bleed quality. I would say my philosophies are very simple in this business, and that is that quality as well as safety should drive your business internally and externally, right? We want to be customer facing, but at the same time, those should be essential to your business. So all these changes, what do they help me with from a quality standpoint? Configuration management. All the technical data, routing, and work instructions will be routed through a systematic approach of approvals to ensure that everything is flowed out appropriately. There's no gaps in releasing new processes or products to the shop floor. We'll be able to obtain process approvals where needed. Detailed work instructions with compliance built in. So all of your inspections that are required will be built into those work instructions. I spoke to process specialization and optimizing bench depth. So again, exciting times, a lot of change. I would say we'll have all of this up and running before the end of Q1 of 2022. And as I had mentioned to a couple people that I spoke to already, you're more than welcome to visit anytime you'd like, but I would prefer you visit after all this is done. You would probably like it better. We also have made some significant changes, as I mentioned a little bit, to QA.com. We're migrating to Wordpress. This will roll out 10/1, which is in a couple days. What does this do for us? We pride our web portal. We take great pride in our web portal and its user friendliness and its accessibility, as well as the ability for you guys to pull the technical documents you need to understand the products that we service and sell, right? So this changes a few things for us for the better. We have faster load speeds. It's an improved user experience. We have a search engine optimization by part number and retained order history. So all of this just makes the user experience for you guys much easier, less timely, and allows you to do what you do best, which is fly. So what are our market deliverables? As both a Part 145 repair station and distributor in the GA marketplace, Quality Aircraft Accessories strives to be a customer-facing organization that provides quality products on time and at the lowest possible cost. That's it, plain and simple. We're here to service your needs for the products that we support from a firewall forward standpoint, and be the technical and support that you need in the meantime as well. So give us a call. I left some cards back on the back desk. Anybody have any questions? And I'm going to refer those to Mr. Justin Phillips here because he is the technical guy. Anyone? What you got? Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Brown family. They own Herzl Propeller and Tailwind Technologies. Yes, sir. Love it there. How is the talent level going to change at our location currently? So nothing changes at Herzl Propeller with this acquisition. They're just in the same family of products. Actually, we don't service any of those products at our location here in Tulsa either. So we don't do any overhauls. We don't do any repairs on propellers. But most definitely. So all the other product lines we do support, from an overhaul, repair, 500-hour inspection, and then as well as distribution of new products. Yeah. I mean, essentially, that's what we've done. The beauty and the gain that we get out of this transition and or this acquisition is the resource allocation that we have from the other locations today, right? Yeah. Yep. Yes, it is. What's the status of Janitrol heaters in Aerostar that are supposed to work at high elevation? I'm going to have to default that question to my Herzl tech support guys, but I can get you that answer. I don't like that answer. Well, of course you do. But I'm never going to give you an answer that is I'm not assured of in my own mind. So what I can say is that we have the experts to speak to that better. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Mm-hmm. Sure. So nothing changed there. The base and the core of the Janitrol product line has remained at Herzl Engine Technologies. Yes, sir. Anyone else? We do. Sure. That's correct. A long time ago. Yes, sir. Very old technology. That is correct.
fuel because of the heater, what Herzl found out was that the igniter was a little bit too far away from the atomizer, and they flame out. And that's what was happening. We went round and round and round with ours until Herzl admitted, yeah, got a problem. It cost us about $15,000, and then they gave us a new janitor for appliances.
There we go. We're here to make things right. I will say that is if I learned anything during my time with Herzl Engine Technologies and just working with the Tailwind organization as a whole, nobody's perfect in a manufacturing environment. Some of these designs are old, to your point. They go way back and they've worked in the original intent. But as we advance with other technologies and other systems outside of those, we're very quick to recognize failures and let you guys know if we do identify it and then make things right. Now, obviously, the goal is to not create those, but when they're design related and they do go way back and there's changes in the overall functionality of that vehicle or that plane, then, we're in for making the situation as easily accessible and results and solutions for you guys as easy as possible, right? Who else? Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you actually manufacture any products? And if so, do you have FAA, PMA approval of those products?
So we do not at Quality Aircraft Accessories. We do at Herzl Engine Technologies. We do just repair station work at this facility locally.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to make a follow-up comment to Jack's good concern about corporate conglomerates, that having worked with Joe Brown very closely at Gamma,
Yeah.
and having flown with Joe Brown on the side, I can tell you that there really is nobody I've ever met in the GA industry who's more passionate about flying airplanes and keeping your airplanes flying.
That's right.
They are really, really dedicated family folks, and I think everyone should feel really comfortable.
Most definitely.
That these brands are actually in the financial, but also the leadership hands that they're in now. I think it bodes well.
Appreciate that comment, and I would agree wholeheartedly. In my career, this just speaks to me a little bit, but in my career, I did a little bit of hopping when I was in the automotive industry. That's the way you move up, right? But I have stuck around for the 8 years, and I'm going to continue to stick around as long as they'll have me, just because of the integrity level that the Brown family has, and the care that they have for this marketplace. So, I agree with every sentiment you said, and I appreciate the comment. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Carl.
You bet, Jack.
So, and maybe your technical guy can speak to this. As pilot owners, sometimes we run into various symptoms, unique problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe I'd ask, what kind of unique symptoms of a problem do you have with the various components that might help us out in the field or here when we run into unique symptoms leads to what problem might be happening with certain components that's common or even better, it's uncommon, because those are harder to find.
Sure. That's a good question. I don't know that I have an exact answer for that. So I receive calls pretty often about maybe mag drop issues. So magnetos are a big one. And you guys talked a lot about magnetos earlier. Kirk knows a lot. But I also talk about fuel air mixture issues. I'm experiencing a hot condition or maybe I'm having problems with just generally reaching full power, that sort of thing. Now, specifically what's wrong, that's a little bit harder because we talk about the things on the phone and I give suggestions. We talk about, we need to check this about your magneto, check the timing, check the point step, that sort of thing. And then if the problem persists and we say, well, let's bring it in and take a look at it. And so I might follow it all the way through, but really my work with them may yield an answer right there and we may be good to go and they find out what they're looking for. Or if I need to come in, either way, I don't always know that that's the final answer, in other words. So I don't know that I have a good answer to that. But if you have some specific problems that you're having or that you've seen, I'd be happy to talk to my experiences with them.
I think the response is specific to the product, right? So basically, our thought process on that and our process to work through from a technical support standpoint is understand what the product is we're talking about, understand all the details we can about that product, how long it's been flying, how long you've had it on your bird, right? And then we start walking through the things that we can identify quickly or you could identify quickly to problem solve on your own. And that's what he's essentially leading to. And we would do that in every application, right? But it's very product specific as to which questions I would ask on the front end. That's correct. All of the customer support for QAA, both locations, our Fort Lauderdale location is centrally located for customer support purposes out of Tulsa. Or you can come visit if you'd like. Yeah, exactly.
And if I don't
Exactly.
answer your question because it's a product that maybe it's a Herzl product that I'm not as familiar with yet, we have a great product support team at AT, so we'll lean on them, get you in contact or get the answer for you.
Justin, talk about what we did the other day. The Romac fuel pump was going to be more expensive to overhaul than replace it with the 200 depth.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
good point.
Yeah, so the question has to do with the Romac fuel pump that I believe probably all of you use on your Lightning engines.
Mm-hmm.
The RG pump, it's a 98, it's a 1790. The Herzl Engine Technologies fuel craft line is the direct replacement for those. And this pump was redesigned after the Romac fuel pump had issues with the seal between the two halves. So it does have some of the same problems that are inherent with the Romac fuel pump. And in this particular case, Ken's alluding to, we had a pump in, it needed X number of parts, and those parts really exceeded the cost to replace it with a Herzl part. And being factory direct for those, we were able to service those, get them to you at a reduced rate, and hopefully get you flying again a lot sooner. So we're going to keep those in stock as well as all the parts to service them.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Explain the hospital questions we like.
Appreciate it. I like the questions. Didn't bother me one bit. That's why I'm here. Well, like I said, I left some cards on the back there. We'll stick around for a little bit, obviously, today. But at the same time, feel free to contact us whenever you need something. We would like to be your provider. Thank you.
Good Lord. I'm going to have to get a stool. Well, some of the things that they didn't list that they work on, they work on Bendix magnetos. They work on turbochargers. In fact, I've got a turbocharger in there being overhauled currently. And Romac fuel pumps, that sort of thing. So these are the list of the things that they are suppliers for, the plane power and that sort of thing. But anyway, let's see. Our next presentation is from Quality Aircraft, from Aircraft Specialties. And he's coming up from the back of the room with a big case of CamGuard. How many of you use CamGuard? Oh, that's good. That's good. Good. Good to hear.
All right, I don't have any fancy presentation. We are so busy. I have not had time to put anything together. This is my first time publicly speaking about our group here. I am pretty new with Aircraft Specialties. A little background on me, though, is I am a pilot, so I understand your all's pain and suffering. I'm a third generation at that, so I really understand I'm standing alone up here and looking around. I want people to fly with, so get your grandkids involved, please. So aircraft specialties, what we do, we're the world's largest steel house for internal engine parts, cranks, cams, lifters, rocker arms, rods, you name it. Steel parts we do. Aluminum. We're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're in the best place you can be for any form of an engine problem at all. We've got Divco, accessories, quality. It's all on the same street. So here in Tulsa, we are very fortunate to be where we're located and have the group of surrounding businesses with us. We also do own CamGuard. That is our company. Ed Collins is the designer and developer chemist of that. But at Aircraft Specialties, what we do is we want to help keep, our goal as a company right now is to lower the cost of engine tear down and rebuild. We're setting up with a new program we're getting ready to launch, or you're going to be able to send all your stuff to us. The engine broke down on a pallet. We're going to take your case to Divco for you. We're going to refurbish your internal parts, and then we're going to give you a discount on new parts at our parts house. And that's just for the people in our machine shop to get that discount that are doing work with us. And that's something we hope that will spread and just try to help absorb some of this cost. I mean, as a pilot myself, I've got a hangar full of airplanes. It's not cheap. So that's something that's going to be here in the near future. As far as CamGuard, it does exactly what we say it'll do. It protects, it helps anti-wear. It's going to help you get to your TBO. Does anybody here fly under 150 hours a year in their airplane? 90% of us, that's going to be the answer. I mean, it's great to have that peace of mind, that security, knowing that it's protected with some form of a lubricant that's in there just keeping the corrosion away.
All I know about CamGuard is that I've been using Afghan for about 30 years. For no particular reason that I understood, I'm afraid to change. You, without my feeling, compare CamGuard to Afghan.
Yeah, that's a fair question. I'm not the chemist. I'm actually more on the aircraft specialty side, but I heard Ed give this answer a lot at Oshkosh. I designed something better is what he'd tell you. But what it's going to do a little bit different, it's going to actually help present or keep your seals from drying out, like your gaskets and stuff. It's going to do that better than out-of-blend will. Its anti-wear is going to help a lot with your rings. It's going to help. So what CamGuard also will do is carbon buildup. It helps dissipate that, and you'll see your oil come out blacker when you first start using it. That's just your carbon breaking down and coming on out. So it does, as far as, I can't say out-of-blend is a bad deal because it's been around for a long time and it's been very useful, but we have a little bit more protectant, anti-wear, and we have cleaner in there. It's going to help keep that engine clean. Does anybody else have any questions? Aerostar owner to stand up. How old are you back there?
46.
46? So which one of you are the youngest out of that?
No, I'm 50.
You're 50? Well, come up. I got some CamGuard for you. And you get one for each engine. I was smart enough to at least bring two, per person. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you. All right. My understanding is George Barnes came the farthest to be here. Is he with us? Well, sounds like he's on a different time zone than the rest of us around here. He's still, maybe. Who's the oldest Aerostar owner and operator here? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? You look about 35, but 87. Well, I got some CamGuard for you. Now, just like quality, we are building a new building at the moment. Production is always our deal. Right now, our lead time is 4 to 5 weeks. We've updated our nitrider and went more electronic on that. I do welcome you guys. I can't handle you all at one time, but if you guys would, while you're in the area, want to come see what it looks like to see a can be ground, a crank be ground, I'd be more than happy to show that to you. It's a pretty neat deal. There's a handful of people here I've seen through there, and I'm pretty proud of the facility, so I would like to show it. That's the new Nitride Oven. It's all ran off of a computer, which is something new for me in the world, but so our nitriding is not, we used to run it once a week. Now we can run it up to 3 times a week easily. And between there, we do what we do call our straightening loads. So we can run that oven now 5 days to 7 days a week if we want to, where used to we had to heat it up, wait for it to cool down. It was a long process. And we do a lot of nitriding for a lot of other companies.
How many other companies? 3,000?
That we do nitriding for?
Yeah.
Oh, there's probably only about 4 or 5 that we touch their cranks for them. So, but it's a real neat facility. I can show you where we make the cam guard at. Greg Merrill, our owner, started this company in 1977, so it's been around for a couple of days. I wasn't even born yet, so it's been around longer than me.
When's that one-stop shopping operation gonna be?
I can start it now. I mean, we just don't quite have we haven't advertised it yet. You guys are kind of the first to hear about it. So,
But it's
yeah, it's official now. Yeah, we're trying to come up with a good name. We think we have one, then we don't, and a bunch of guys sitting around a table trying to name a dog basically. So, we try to be fair. Our goal is just to we don't want to be the richest company. We want to be the company that helps aviation drive on. So,
What do you do besides cam guard?
aircraft specialties. We're a machine shop that reconditions cams, cranks, lifters, all the steel that's in your engine. Both of them. So, but I think it's your all's lunchtime. I can cut this short and you guys can go to lunch.
You know any Aggie jokes?
Aggie jokes? I don't.
Which Aggie?
Well, thank you. This is neat to see this group. I'm kind of a Piper guy, so I have a short wing Piper club is what I'm in. And you guys tend it better than we do, to be honest with you. So you guys keep on driving. So.
Anybody else have any questions? Wow. Okay, group got quiet all of a sudden. Yeah.
I think
Go ahead.
when you grind a crank or a cam, then you re-harden the nitride.
The crank, yes. Cam does not go to the oven.
When you re-grind the cam, you have to.
No, not on the Lycoming. Continental, we Parkerize it, but the Lycoming, it's hard. It stays hard. Lycoming is by far, it's my favorite engine. So. All right. I bet your all's bus will be waiting on you for lunch. But do feel free to stop by anytime. I'd be more than happy to show you the shop. We're on Sheridan there, so. Thank you, guys.
I'll make sure you read this. Thank you. Well, this is great that we're finishing early. We're going to load into one bus and 2 vans and head out to the Air and Space Museum, which is out at the International Airport. And the bus is supposed to be here at 12 noon. So we've got a little time to take a break, get whatever you want, jackets or whatever you need for a trip out we'll be inside. I'm not sure it started raining yet, but it's supposed to rain later this evening. It started anyway. I'll believe it when I see it. We haven't had rain 2.5 months here in Tulsa. So with that said, we can break into, go take care of business and then meet me out front, riding the bus and the vans. Thank you, guys.